Hey guys, what's up? Back for day two. Today I was watching a video by Pokeoz, and he released an interesting topic. And it was mostly about trash sets that have been released in the past and how they're doing. The set value versus sealed booster boxes. I thought it was really interesting because he's talking about, the infamous emerging powers, Crimson Invasion, and the most popular to hate on is Steam Siege. And we're going to kind of recap what he talked about a little bit. And then I'm going to dive into some other aspects that just got me really thinking about it. So when we look at Steam Siege, we're looking at the total value here. For the entire set, you're looking at $374. People hated this set. You could pick up a booster box for $90 when this released. So it was relatively cheap. But obviously the cards back then, even then, people didn't care for them. Gardevoir, obviously pulling, that entire train there. And the Steelix is cool too, but, it just wasn't a great set. But you go and you look at sealed product today, you're looking at Steam Siege boxes being at 542. And actually, I think they've sold for more. Their most recent sell being for 700. This entire box has sold more than the entire set. So keep that in mind, right? So even in the worst set, the sealed booster box outperforms the set value. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we move forward to, let's do Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion is in a similar boat, right? Crimson Invasion is probably the second most hated set. You were just chasing Gyarados. I mean, I remember trying to get this Gyarados. I think I have like 2 loses and like every other card in this set multiple times. Never even got the Gyarados. But point is, this set was terrible. I hated opening the packs. But even sealed, you're still looking at 325, and I think on TCG, most recent was 350. So keep that in mind, right? The set value is 350. So we see the sealed products outperforming the singles much better. Now, I'm not getting into grading or any of that, but I'm just keeping us on track here that even in the worst sets, the absolute worst, these sets sealed are outperforming the set value. So I want to dive in and I want to go look at some more modern stuff. Let's go look at, let's say Paldea, right? Paldea is an interesting set. Set value is 1,000. You're looking at 1,128. Heavily carried by the Magikarp. And sealed booster box, you're looking at about 300, right? So right there, we're kind of a fourth of the way, right? So that's an early set that makes sense. It could still get printed. A lot of people are saying that it won't. But, until it's out of rotation, there's always a chance. Other sets like, let's look at Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown at $446 for the total set. Sealed products, you're looking at, 222 for a booster box. That's already at halfway point. So I think if you're investing in some of these pieces, I think you need to be looking at the total set value and what the box is currently worth. And I think a lot of people already do that, but in case you're not, I think that's something to be looking at. Now, the reason I bring this up, and I'll keep this video short and simple, because I think it's just one point that I kind of want to tackle. Let's go look at Team Up. I think Team Up is doing extremely well because it is a set that was extremely popular, and the set value is almost at 6,000. Obviously you got the Latios, the Gengar, the Magikarp, right? All these cards are really cool, and as of recently, the Team Up booster box has skyrocketed along with the singles. Okay. These are almost at the point where they're the same price. I'm $1,000 off here. Team Up box may be, let's see, Team Up booster box. Let's see. The most recent sell 6,000. Okay. So the booster box has eclipsed the total set value for a booster box. All right. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I am going to give you guys what I invested in and some of my reasoning behind it. If we go back and look at Team Up being the most popular set in Sun and Moon, right? You know, along with Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, Bonds. I mean, they had a killer set here. But if we go into Sword and Shield, I still think there's room. Now, you look at Evolving Skies. We're going to look at Evolving Skies here. And the set value, similar to Team Up, 5,450. Okay? It's got an iconic chase card. You know, I'd say it's the modern chase of our era for a lot of people that have come back into collecting. Maybe you're the 2020s. You know, you came in with the COVID. This was a card that a lot of people were chasing, right? And then obviously now it's still holding its own. But at 5,450, well, you know, the set isn't as old as Team Up. So what would you assume the box is going for? And you may know it already, but it's only going for about 2,000. Okay? The Evolving Skies box is only going for about 2,000, and you could get it underneath that. So Team Up being a little bit older, I mean, let's look up when Team Up release dates. Pokemon. I mean, it's only 2 years. Only 2 years older. Okay? Than Evolving Skies. And if in 2 years you're telling me that this box has potential to run up to $6,000, well, that's where I stopped doing my research and I just went and invested in it, because you are looking at an extremely popular set, and you could say that it was printed heavier, but also at the same time it was ripped more. I mean, I remember this set coming out and I ripped an insane amount. Probably one of the sets I ripped the most of. Now, did I hit? No, I think I have a Sylveon. But, you know, it's one of those sets where the hype meets the demand. Or sorry, the demand meets the hype. But I still think there was a ton of demand left on the table. And that's why you see it at the price it is. So, something to consider. I think Evolving Skies, a lot of Sword and Shield. There's also like other places you could look. I mean, Fusion Strike has already passed the halfway mark when you look at it. So it's at 1480, right? So recently it passed selling about seven. It's about 800, but it's definitely come down for the booster box. So you're looking at over half. The Fusion Strike booster box past the halfway point. So that's why I'm confident Evolving Skies still has legs. So, and you know, if you're looking at modern sets, there's some that still stand out. And it's, even with all the print hype and talk about it coming out, you know, Prismatic, you're still looking at a set value of 6,415. Now, granted, a lot of these cards are still crashing down. Okay, you know, the Umbreon went from 1,600 down to 1,245. You know, a lot of these cards are seeing all-time lows, but how much further do these cards go? How much further are they going to crash down? And that's what you got to kind of factor in when you're collecting. Where do you want to make your stand? And if this is going to be, let's say it crashes another $2,000, it's still a $4,415 set. You know, 4 years. Where are these products? You know, where is the UPC? What is an ETB worth? You know, this is a Pokemon Center one, but what's a booster bundle worth? So that's something to consider. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, I'm new to this, but I'm just kind of trying to like give you guys insight of how I'm thinking, where I invest, and yeah, let me know. Anyways, peace out.